Searching podcasts for Dave, and one more time.
We are living in a world where the guy who, according to the polls, is most likely to become our next president is getting shot at. And the guy who is our current president, and we are told is 100% capable of being president, but just not, running for president, is stepping aside. In times like these, we need level-headed, intelligent commentators. Those guys couldn't make it, but these guys showed up again. And you're welcome, America. This is Dave and Juan.
And 3.
Number 2.
1.
Woohoo!
No, you're right. No, you're right. America. It doesn't need to be said, but we're going to say it anyway.
No, man, of course not.
You are
welcome.
welcome. Absolutely welcome. Hi, everybody. How are you? I'm Dave.
I'm Juan.
And this is Dave and Juan.
More time.
Thank you. Thank you. I tell you, it's almost it's a conspiracy. Of all the conspiracies, we Juan and I have things we think we're going to talk about or lead with and breaking news.
Yeah, right. We're not a breaking news podcast, but man,
we do it once a week, but they just keep breaking news on the weekends right before we come on and do this. So it's mid-afternoon here on a Sunday, and about an hour or so ago, I'm not watching any TV today, but I started getting texts from various friends to tell me it's a thing that you figured was coming. Anyway, our current president, I get confused. Our current
president, number 46, Joe Biden,
has decided after much contemplation and getting the right price. That's flat out what happened. But President Biden has announced he will not seek re-election this go round. But fear not, he does plan on leading the country.
Yeah, 6 more months.
What could possibly go wrong?
Right. I want him to say, and I don't know why. I don't suppose he'll give a definitive reason as to why he decided not to.
Well, because he really didn't.
Right.
We all. Then again, these are all theories, y'all. I'll say it again, and it's hard because we tell you everybody's lying. They're always lying. Nobody's telling you the whole story, but you kind of got to figure, because the word that was out that the president's two biggest people that hang around with him, the consultants, his two biggest influences the past week or so have been his wife Jill and the smartest man he knows, Hunter.
Hunter was out of town this weekend.
Was he? You see, that's actually a pretty boss move when you say, you know what, my consigliere here is a crack addict. Well, he might not be. He may be. Hopefully he's cleaned up. Who knows? I actually wish.
Well, you're once an addict, always an addict.
Well, but not necessarily using. But here's the deal. So staying on as president, you still got all that power. You still got the power to pardon. You've got.
And there's a part of me that thought maybe he was hanging on because Hunter's got some other stuff coming down the road.
Well. So he's got 6 months or so, but in that, so he put out his first his letter saying blah blah blah, or somebody put it out. I read a funny tweet that said, "Man, just wait till Joe wakes up and finds out he quit." So he put the first letter out, and then I was looking at it, and then somebody else said, "Well, then he endorsed Kamala." Now I hadn't seen that, but it apparently did come right out after that.
Yeah, but it's still like I've read articles that go back and forth on it.
Well, I think
here's what I'm guessing. Here's what I'm guessing right now is darn near every journalist, and I say that name loosely,
Man,
had an article in the can.
We know one. We know one journalist. We know Rick.
Yeah.
We know Rick
But so
Portier. He's our.
all of the
He's
political media probably had, their articles written already and just waiting to press post.
Yeah.
And so some may have, that's what I'm saying. So I'm assuming he endorsed her, but I'm guessing some of the articles I read were written in advance, because one that I read was, what about the money?
Well, it looked like it was the official Twitter or X, saying he wholeheartedly. Now I gotta follow this up because a friend of mine who may just be, said that he heard that Hillary had also endorsed her, and I gotta doubt that. I mean, when I heard that Joe was dropping out, the first thing I texted some friends saying, "Whoo, man, get ready! That kill list just got long. Hillary coming, she
Yeah, I
coming."
would be surprised if she did already.
Yeah, myself. Yeah, and that's
it's
the
like,
thing.
let me see what I can do here.
I mean, the Uber, I don't like I said, conspiracy theorists out there are about 90, they're about 98% out of 100 right now. So there's no such, like I'll give Candace Owens credit. She said that if you're not a conspiracy theorist today, just because you're not thinking. And then somebody else just texted me, "Oh, this might be the move. Hang on a sec here, buddy of mine, and we'll see." Just texted me that said that RFK is going to have a press conference later today.
So he'll drop.
No, I'll bet you RFK.
Oh,
You think it would be RFK to maybe be the vice president
I
nominee?
don't know. I don't know.
That would seem ridiculous, but who knows? Who knows? But here's what I'm saying. Here's what it's got us everybody not talking about anymore.
Maybe he'll throw his name into the ring for the Democratic nomination.
We really should, huh? But that would be interesting. But what nobody's talking about right now is the second shooter.
See, I didn't even. You got too many theories. When you send me a video that tell me to fast forward to minute the 27-minute mark. Like,
you didn't do it? Did you look at it?
No, I've been at swim meets all week.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. Then that's why I knew that, because I didn't want to look at that stuff. I'm the same way. You look at things and go, "Oh man, all these," and then you start looking at, okay. And no, look, exactly. We're never ever gonna know. But the dude made some interesting points. I guess my thing is, I would be curious to see if there's ever a hearing or a congressional, let's call some people to sit down in front of us and say, "Hey, answer me this, or answer me that, or how does the story back up the evidence here?" Right. So that's what he basically did. And he even says that, "Here's my hypothesis." And he was very open with the guy we're talking about, this video, and very detailed with audio analysis of. So it's stuff that, I mean, you were there, you heard it, you could hear the things, and basically pointing out how it's two distinctly different sounding.
Yeah, you can look at sound waves and see,
and the
it's coming from
echoes,
the same place.
The echoes are different, because of distance, and
the whole thing is nuts to me.
Crazy.
I read that the kid, and I don't know if it was the same day or the day before, but flew a drone over the area. Now, I have, I've talked about this before. I've worked in video production, or on video production projects. Several years ago, we were doing a project at the Coca-Cola distribution plant here, probably about a mile from the Baton Rouge airport.
Right.
We're trying to do a drone shot. Not happening. Can't put the drone up. You got to get special clearance from the FAA to get the drone up in a restricted area. So my point is, the area where the presidential nominee and potential next president of the United States is speaking has to be a protected area.
Correct. And the standard procedure is Secret Service shows up days in advance.
Right. So I've talked about this before. 6 years ago in Baton Rouge, had a big police massacre. Police were shot. Then Vice President Biden spoke at my church, where I volunteered to run camera. To be at this event in advance, or to run camera, I had to have an FBI background check.
Yep.
The Secret Service took the church over 3 days before.
Right.
The building. No one else could go in. No one else could go around. running dogs in and out of this thing left and
But
right.
Juan, in all fairness, that's what they do when they don't want you to get shot.
Right. So,
Right? You're
I'm talking
confusing things.
normal process.
You're confusing things. Oh, yeah, it all came out. Man, I know we spent a whole, but we got more information during the week. We
Yeah.
spent a whole hour kind of stunned about what happened last time. But no, that's what's come out. There were no dogs, right? They didn't do any of that. They apparently, like I said, if the dude flew a drone the day before,
Right,
it
which in
wasn't the day.
space that normally would have been restricted.
Yeah, so that became, but nobody's talking about that now. Everybody's talking about
They're regarding the inside of the building.
right. Well, if you read the theory this guy throws out,
Okay,
right,
all right.
and it starts making, you again, you start scratching your head, saying, "Well, wait a minute. Why would you say, okay, we can't put nobody because it's sloping?" But then you're telling us, "Oh, wait, you do have people inside the building?
Yeah.
Why would you have people inside the building?" And when this guy comes out and starts saying, here's why you have people inside the building, and look, I'm not going to get again.
All right, I'm gonna listen to it.
I tell you what, if you listen to it, I think next week we come on here, you're going to text me saying, "Yeah, bro, you're right, you're right." And again, I don't know, none of us do, but that's how. Heck, even Joe Rogan was talking to another comedian. Joe Rogan, just looking at things, saying, they've done this before, right? This is and,
Yeah.
and when they do this, this is exactly what it looks like, and it ends with the patsy being dead, game over. And I'm like, well, okay, who knows? Who knows? It's just another thing that's out there. What we do know right now is that it's about to get fun.
Yeah,
It's
be an interesting couple of weeks again.
man. So you thought the Trump not inauguration, the Trump rally, the RNC,
The
right?
RNC.
Which, by the way, those of you that have watched it, you can say what you want. It was pretty entertaining.
It was good. It was. Now I thought Kid Rock was a bit I could have done without.
Kid Rock was a little bit too much. Kid Rock, and I like him and understand why Trump
Right.
had him there.
He could have a longer shirt, so I didn't have to see his belly. Not that he's got a
Well,
big
but then,
belly.
you know what? If you were his age and had and he lost some weight, because he did have a little beer belly there for a while, but he's he's the American badass.
He is, dude.
He's the American
The only
badass.
thing is, and look, I don't care. Lip sync with yourself. Just have some background on the track.
He was
so that when you're
yeah.
when you're not moving your mouth, it's not your vocals.
It was reminding me of like an old Donnie and Marie show where Donnie and Marie are out there supposedly singing, and there's an orchestra somewhere that we don't see.
Yeah.
But
I thought Hulk Hogan was cool.
Hulk Hogan was the best. Don't get me wrong. Dana White was
he was
Dana White was solid, but Hulk Hogan was shockingly good. And I read a lot of lines about that. Like every guy above 40 years old right now is reliving their childhood, man.
Right. Oh man. The fact that let me tell you, brother, was like, I think
let me tell you, brother,
what
you gonna do
when he ripped off the shirt. It was like the coolest thing ever, man.
And you know what? Is he our age? He's older. Like
no, he's 70. I looked it up.
He's 70.
Yeah.
Man, let me tell you, growth hormones can do some amazing things. Because they're all they just admit that stuff now. I mean, they're all on it.
Yeah.
But that's I got a second look at those growth hormones, man. If you're 70 years old and you still have some definition there, that's not bad. But no, it was entertaining.
Yeah, no, I didn't see JD there. I didn't see that night.
He's all right. JD's not they can say what they want. He's not a public speaker, man. He's a great interview. He's a lawyer. He's a brilliant, people, all the stuff you want to say about him, the dude. I mean, the story is amazing, right? He grows up with, the Hillbilly Elegy was the book. I mean, he grew up in crazy poverty with a drug addicted mom, a dad who wasn't there, was in prison, raised by, as they call her, Mamaw. But just literally hand to mouth. I mean, for a good part of his life, joined the military, fought, I guess it was Iraq. Yeah. I mean, came back, graduated Ohio State, finished first in his class at Yale. No, I think Yale's a trash fire, but it's still it's a.
I think it's the modern day American dream story, where it's not just I came from nothing, where it's I came from every disadvantage that you can have. Single mom's not even around.
Correct.
So
Correct.
and made himself.
Now, the only thing I hold against that, he does. He graduated first in his class from Yale, but apparently Hunter Biden's got a law degree from Yale as well. So
Yeah,
I'm almost positive that's true. Um,
I think
but
so.
I also heard, and
I
this might
like
not, and
Trump's.
again, I could be wrong. I just want to put this out there, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and I apologize. But I think I heard once that, like at Yale, once you get into Yale Law School, there's no getting out. In other words, you don't fail. You do not fail. Like, I don't even know that they give grades. It's bizarro world. It's the club, man. It's the club.
Yeah,
You
you know, want to keep up that 100% graduation rate.
but it's all there. I mean, Bush's went there. It's all
Yeah, yeah.
that's the game.
But I thought Lee Greenwood can retire. Um,
Well,
he's in his 80s. I looked that up.
no, to his credit, he still sounds good, assuming he
Yeah,
was singing. No, he was singing because he kept stopping to talk.
yeah.
So that wasn't so he still sounds remarkably good for a guy that age. I don't know. I would just assume him not have to be there live, just have him come out to
Hmm.
um now the interesting thing was, again, I just love the symbolism. Saw a guy talking about this. Apparently, Trump picks all the music. Since Trump's apparently very into music, and people tell these stories about
They like his little dance moves.
but like for everything, they said even when you're like playing golf with him or at whatever,
He's
he
got the
likes
playlist.
he really likes music and he controls the music. So the music that was there was him, and they closed with an opera singer singing. Oh yeah,
See,
the
I
last.
bailed before, man.
Oh no, 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 and I forget the name of the song. If I'm not gonna pause and go look it up.
Yeah.
But a pretty well known opera song. But then somebody else pointed out later that was a scene in a movie. I think it's called Sum of All Fears. Morgan Freeman was in it. Bridget Moynihan, I think, and I think Ben Affleck. I'm not sure. But apparently, as a president, and there's a presidential assassination attempt or something, and that song is playing toward the end of the movie when the president knows what's going on and he's taking out the people, or they're having the people that did it. It's really like some
Yeah,
kind of
the symbolism
coincidence,
there. Yeah.
that, and if it's not true, it's still fun.
That's a good
Whatever.
story.
But as entertaining as I think the RNC was, man, Democrats going to be.
Because theirs is usually the one that's presented as fun.
Well, they bring out celebrities, but now we hate
All right.
all the celebrities.
Yeah.
Seriously. I mean, and this is
I bet
no.
MSNBC's not going to be in front of a screen though.
No, I'm saying this is going to be there, but and this is not a not just a flippant remark. Can you think of a celebrity right now who, forget that you would listen to, who to vote for, who you actually respect? Like who?
No, because I don't think. Yeah, I mean Trump, the girl who spoke the first night, who I don't know her.
Oh, Amber Rose.
Yeah,
She was great.
man, and she sparked up reaction on both sides of
But
everything.
her story was fantastic, and her
Yeah.
story was that was the one I was even sitting there because my wife was sitting in the living room, and she was sort of watching, sort of not watching, and I think she looked up and saw who this was and really didn't, started just was like, and she was starting out and told my wife, I said, she's really good. I mean, she's knocking it out the park, and she did, just with a story about what her thoughts were, what her biases were, and then. And again,
Right.
if you're on the other side, and we've talked about this before, man, whatever side you're on, be on whatever side you're on. Let's just
For
can
your
we
own
not
reason, though.
can we yeah, and can we not shoot at people? Can we just can we all agree on that? Just
Mhm.
sort of what you think security is going to be like at the DNC? Are they doing that in Chicago?
Yeah.
People get shot anyway in
Yeah.
Chicago. I mean, that might be the safest Chicago. No, because they're only going to be protecting. They're going to be protecting that little part of town they're in.
There'll be a lot more Secret Service there than
You
was
think?
in Pennsylvania a couple
I
weeks
promise
ago.
you, nobody's be flying drones over that place the day before.
I enjoyed Trump's granddaughter.
She was good. She was
And I like the little baby, the little one who sat on his lap
all
during.
funny.
Yeah.
The one, besides, like you said, we were not either a fan. And when Kid Rock was up there, I told my wife, I said, I just wish he would do Born Free. his song. But then I realized that became Mitt Romney's
Oh,
campaign
oh,
song. So there's no way in hell they were going to have Kid Rock singing the song that I think it would have been great if they'd have just brought out a bunch. I mean, 50 Cent was supposed to be there. Yeah,
yeah.
just pull a Trump, pull a typical Trump. And why only one wrestler, man? Bring out.
The one thing that I liked about I liked multiple things about the video that preceded his speech was all the freaking celebrities who were kissing up to him
He did that. Oh yeah,
before.
all the shots with Oprah and Jesse
Yeah.
Jackson and just every celebrity in the world.
Yeah. What's
Loved
his
them.
name? Reverend Al Sharpton.
Loved them. Loved them some Trump. But okay, so that's done. They're doing what they're doing. Now we're gonna watch this show. Now, you know who Dave Portnoy is?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Barstool. So he's an interesting guy, but he put out something a little while ago that I think he had a pretty good take. He said, "There's no way." All right, and it's funny. This guy's a Democrat. Okay, I flat out know, but he's kind of leaning the other way. He says there's no way Kamala would have been the nominee if Joe Biden dropped out before the Democratic primary and had to run versus other candidates. It's true, right?
Right. She
He
dropped
says
out before when people liked her without knowing her 4 years ago,
she still
she
doesn't drop out.
dropped out before a ballot was cast because she
Well,
couldn't raise
and
money.
what he says is the people who control Joe also control Kamala and just subverted democracy with pure election fraud and theft. Now, hey, look, that's Dave Portnoy. Agree with it or not, disagree, not, but, and I know, see, it's happened before, right? So, Lyndon Johnson back in the day did not run.
Right. But he backed out in March, is what they
Correct.
said.
He ran once and won, right? Didn't it? Wasn't that how it worked out?
Mm-mm.
No, he didn't.
Well,
Hang on.
so let's see. He had to. He replaced Kennedy, then he had to run again because Kennedy would have been 60, then the election would have been 64, and then 68. Yeah.
Okay. So
So
he just
dropped out for the 68.
But he did drop out without he could have run again, but he didn't. But he did it early enough that okay, America, okay, Democrats, you guys choose who your candidate's going to be. That ain't what they did this time.
No, and that's my whole thing. I don't think, especially when you're the party that's talking about this, democracy depends on this election, and you just ran through a democratic process of electing your nominee or voting for your nominee, and because you think he can't win.
Yeah, but it goes beyond that. They rigged the nomination thing. Like they wouldn't put RFK on some of the ballots.
Right.
They ran out other people. So basically, it's always a rigged game. I mean, that's just okay.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
My idea would have been, you remember how Rush Limbaugh did the whole thing? I think other people have done it again, where it's like, when the first time Hillary ran against Obama, Rush had people going or was encouraging people to in the primaries.
Operation Chaos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said
Yeah.
it would be cool now if anybody got polled, any Republicans got polled, and they said they would vote for Biden just to give him that and see what the polls are saying.
Dude, okay, I jotted this down just to show you where we are, I guess, in this country, in this world, and how sometimes you think, like I told you, the time I had that conversation with the woman on the plane the other day, where I was just,
Mhm.
hey, listen, I respect it. Look, I can respect opinions, but can we agree on a fact?
Yeah.
Right. So if we can agree on a fact, then we can have our different opinion about good, bad, and different. Right. But I mean, if we can't agree on the fact, then there's no use even talking. The poll came out 35%. 35%. Now, I don't know if they defined it as 35% of liberals or 35% of Democrats. I don't know how they, we have a tendency to kind of lump them together, but I don't know how they defined it. But anyway, 35% believe that Trump's assassination was staged. That the campaign did it for sympathy.
Yeah. What's his name? Used to be with ESPN, then I think he's been with Olden something. I forgot his name. He didn't believe he ever got shot.
Who's that?
Gosh, I forgot the guy's name. He was with ESPN for a while. Oblin.
Oberman. That dude's
Oberman.
Oh,
Keith Oberman.
that poor he is one that has crossed over into the Paul bet range. I mean, that guy is crazy. He's undone. He's just flat out undone. I mean, you just okay.
Well, Well, it
But
was so crazy this week because then it's Republicans want to see Biden's health records. Like, why don't we see
well,
Trump's
so
health
let's talk
record?
about so now and again. So I don't want before we bore ourselves, and this ends up being this is what's out there. This is going to take up all the oxygen with the news. Other things that happened this week, again, totally unrelated, but things that make you go, hmm. Friday morning, I was up late night. I was up late on Thursday. I watched Trump deal. The speech did go too long. I mean,
Yeah.
but I mean, hey, you know what? Dude was almost killed a few days before. All right, dude, do 90 minutes. What I really wish he would have done was toward the end, looked at his watch and said, I know I've been up here a while, but you think the other guy could do this? I mean, that would have been right. That would have been a good way to tie it in. But so I was up late. So then the next morning, kind of off and on, I'm sleeping, not sleeping. And I pull up my phone and I fell asleep with some news on my phone. It was still playing. And they were talking about CrowdStrike, uh, blue screen. And and I'm like, oh, there's airport trouble and everything. And I'm literally in the morning. I'm kind of like half asleep. And then the phone rings at 8 o'clock, and it's a friend of mine. She's a president, bank president up in the north. And she called for some stuff and that's kind of funny too, man. It's a slow morning, I didn't have to be anywhere, so I was legitimately, I was in bed. I mean, I was asleep or verge of sleep when the phone rings, and it's like a serious business call, dude. That shot of adrenaline. My wife was amazed.
Oh yeah, yeah.
She was amazed, like, you didn't even sound sleepy. I said, no, I had adrenaline running through my ears.
Well, you got a knot.
Thank God it wasn't a Zoom call I was on that. But she had to talk to me about a couple things, and then she says, "Yeah, I'm sorry, I got to go. We're having that CrowdStrike, that blue screen stuff is just blowing because they have a pretty big operation." And that's when I realized, oh. But those of you many of you out there know what we're talking about. Those of you that don't, we all got a wake up call on the fact that, dang, all these computers all run the same stuff.
Yeah.
And all it took was for one or two idiots to let's just say it was accidental.
Right, but it's just one basic operating system.
Shut down about 1 billion computers around the world, right?
Including many at airports.
Many at airports. I had friends stuck all over the place. One friend of mine, Amy, she's great. I love Amy. She was somewhere and texted that she got stuck. She was flying Delta. Delta was having a bunch of problems. And then she said in the text that she had lost her diamond status. And I was thinking, dang, what do you think to be a diamond? I've never, she wasn't diamond status anymore. She was only platinum. Now let me tell you something. Platinum is high as I ever got when I was on Delta. I mean, it's pretty up there. But she was a platinum status, and the platinum support line, the line they only give,
right. Should be like the red phone.
Right, the club that you get to be on platinum to get their wait time was 7 hours and 20 minutes for assistance.
It's a nightmare. I mean, well, you mentioned Rick earlier. He was North Carolina, maybe, but it took him forever to get back.
Well, it's except if you're on Southwest, because apparently Southwest never upgraded their software. Southwest is still flying with like Windows 3 or something. I don't know what it is. You ain't
97.
None of that new code's gonna take a Southwest plane.
Well, you saw Elon Musk said whatever every business he had that was running, the software that went bad, he pulled it.
Oh, well, of course, and he hates Bill Gates too. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's a Microsoft, it's a Windows server.
Yeah.
But here's the deal: they were given directions on how, like possible fixes. I couldn't even figure out the fixes. Yeah, and I was very fortunate. I guess I didn't have anything on my computers here. I'm not, I even texted my web guy, and he said I'm smart enough not to run. He said I'm smart enough not to use Windows servers, and I'm like, all right, I don't even know what that is. All I know is they were given directions.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah. Well, turn your computer on in safe mode. Well, how the hell you do that? Why isn't it always safe? Right? Why do I have to figure out a safe mode, and then this prints out, and then and then find whatever file? What? How? What do you mean find file? Like I gotta and then delete that and do something else and
yeah,
no.
the chances of me doing that and not screwing up something else is about slim and none.
Screwing up. I screwed something up a while ago. We have Too bad you don't live close, Juan. I would say, hey, man, I wouldn't even one of my back door, the knob. You got a bolt on top, dead bolt, and then the regular knob,
Uh-huh.
and it's so it'll when I turn the knob, the stop. What do you call it? The you
The
know
door
the
stop.
the shaws that goes into the hole to keep
Oh,
the
yeah,
door.
yeah, 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 yeah.
You
I
know,
don't know
brother,
what you call that
the
thing. The
shaws that
little thing
goes
that
into
goes
the
back and
chut.
forth.
You got the shaws, yeah, right.
Yeah.
And when you close it, that's supposed to go in, and the door
Yeah.
closes. But
Yeah,
it's
the thing that the knob pulls back and forth.
right, but it's not. It's catching. It's not
All
closing
right.
right. So and I now when you turn the knob, it'll go in right. But so I know what I'm thinking and realize, okay, that can't be just an oil situation because it's not like it's.
Nah, something must have broken.
So I know.
I don't know. Yeah.
I'm handy. It's like the guy that pops open the hood of a car that doesn't know what he's looking at, just kind of hoping that there's going to be
Yeah,
something
it's
obvious.
obvious. Something spewing out.
So I opened up I took off the doorknob. Well, I just made it worse. I mean, I even told my wife after, yeah, I just made it worse. Well, but it's one of those things. It's like,
Interior door, exterior door.
exterior door.
Oh man, so now you got to go get if you got to
Well,
change.
it'll close, but you have to close it by turning the knob.
Yeah.
So and there are other doors if we have to get in it, but
But if
and
you
it's not the
change
bolt.
that, that means you got to either you'll have a different key or you got to rekey the lock.
That's the whole thing, man. That's what my wife said. Oh, we can have, and you know what happens there? Then you got to get all the other keys. Everybody's got keys. You got to get everybody new keys, and so that's what I learned. Like you said, you were afraid to do something because you're going to make it worse. Well, I went into that thinking, am I about to make this worse? I was thinking in my head, okay, if I totally mess it up, I'm just going to have to take the knob off and just put some tape over the hole because you just basically lock it with the bolt. You know, that's more often than not, that's the only way we lock the door anyway. You just lock the bolt, you don't lock the knob. But yeah, I know it's a little, it's annoying. I'm standing there and it's kind of hot too. It's a hot day and I got to have the door kind of open, so I'm sitting there, sort of breaking a sweat, trying to thinking, at this stage in my life, I ought to be handy enough to fix a dang
I don't
doorknob.
know. Doorknobs can be tricky. I got one. We locked ourselves out not too long ago, and we were all at my dad's house, and my daughter had her a key, but she was riding back with my son, who and they left later than us, and so we got here. And I keep spare keys in the garage, but people, my wife and daughter will, inevitably use the spare key from the garage and
And
not put
not
it back.
put it back. Oh,
So now we're locked and we can't get in. For how long? Then it's like I'm trying to pry the damn doorknob off. So the little
oh,
collar
you
around the doorknob.
breaking into your
Yeah,
own
yeah.
house.
We're trying to break in without breaking the whole door.
Yeah, breaking in when you got to pay for whatever you break.
Mm-hmm.
I know
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I got a neighbor that's got a phone that's the phone, yeah, he's got a door he can unlock with his phone. And I'm like, that's way more
Yeah,
trust than I want to have.
you've got. I mean, I can open and close my garage with my phone.
Not me, bro.
The it's the like where my son lives. It's like I don't know. It's a building divided into 4 or 5 apartments, and the outer door, it's got like a code. It's got one of those locks,
Mhm.
and each person has a code. Um,
Yeah.
so and I would you could probably get an app for that. I don't
Well,
know.
we're talking about phones. So yesterday, God love my wife, and I think I may have made I got a couple brownie points for being a decent dude. We went to have dinner with some friends and went to see my son Abe before he went home and stuff. So, and then after she said she lost, what did she lose? She has the expensive earbuds,
Mm-hmm.
and I like the cheap ones. I told you that before. I like just the basic. I
Right.
hope they never stop making just the plain.
Yeah, the iPad or whatever plus probably is what she
Right,
has.
just right. So, but she had the expensive ones, and then she lost the case. Well, that's kind of a bummer, right? So couldn't find it, never showed up. So she ordered a new case. It's $100 something for the case. Comes in. Yeah, it was about $100, I guess it was. Doesn't work. Doesn't work. So she decided, well, maybe couldn't get it figured out. So she said, well, she says, if you don't mind, while we're on that side, let's go to the Apple store. There's an Apple store in our mall.
Mm-hmm.
And I made the mistake of having I let my not exasperation, but I said I stated the obvious. I was like, that's not going to be a fast process, right? And so I don't know. She might have been annoyed at the time when I said that, and like, I don't know, why would I? And I'm just like, I'm just saying. It sounds like you think we're going to walk into the Apple store.
Yeah, Apple Store not if the one there like the one here, you walk in and then you get on
It's a nightmare.
it's
It's
right.
a
You're getting
nightmare.
on a list.
And I took a picture and I almost texted you and Rick and saying, dude, where do you not want to be on a Saturday afternoon? You do not want to be in an Apple store. It is a zoo. It's a freak show. It's because that truly does bring people together, man. Of course, being in the
Well,
mall, I hadn't been in a
yeah.
mall
I don't
in
do
a
the
minute,
mall.
and this is a good mall. This is like, hey, it's kind of funny. That's the thing about big cities. Everybody got the good mall, and then you got the watch yourself mall. So this is sort of the good mall. Um, but and I'm walking around while my wife's waiting. Well, she came in, talked to, and let me say this: the Apple employees are fine. Okay,
Yeah, I
they're all
like the Apple Store. I
okay.
just, I'm good to go kill time in the Apple
Let me
Store.
tell
I
you,
don't like to
everybody in
have
there
to go
now,
there.
everybody in there, 75% or better of the people in there are in there because they got a problem.
Right.
It used to be, oh, you're just in there to shop, to look and ask a couple questions. Everybody in there's getting some crap fixed or right. And you got various levels of intellect that they're
Right, which is
dealing with.
probably why they went to the whole, either have an appointment or you schedule time when you walk in.
Well, so she's in there, wait, so knocking on an hour between the time they gave her a spot and then somebody came out. It might have been 45 minutes. But bruh, when I tell you that her issue involved three different employees in that place, including a manager, she ended up on a phone as we drove home with somebody that elevated to something else. She dealt with five different Apple employees, three in person, two on the phone.
Just because the case wouldn't work?
I can't even tell you what was going on, man. And at some point, again, I'm just staying
At
out
some
of it.
point, you just figure they're just giving another case.
Well, I think they're sort of kind of. At some point, I was thinking, I just want to figure out what was the man hours, what was the dollar amount of time invested in this in this problem. But yeah, so she still they don't work. So I don't know what the story's gonna be. But so I am in the Apple store, and I just stepped out. And again, I'm walking around the mall because
Well,
it's
see,
like
that's what, like, the last time I went to the Apple Store, they say it's gonna be, it's gonna be an hour wait. Just go, walk around the mall. I said that would be worse for me. I'll just stand in here
it
for an
sort of
hour.
gives me the hives, man. The mall sort of gives me the hives. You walk around and you realize, man, I don't belong in here.
Well,
Then I
now
just
the one here, you can't after on weekends. If you're under 18, you got to be like after I think 4 in the afternoon. You have to be with somebody over 21.
I mean, because it's right.
Yeah,
It's out,
it's a
it
crap
becomes
show.
out of control. I actually walked into a hot topic
Dude.
just just to bask in the fact that I'm standing in a hot, like, who does not belong here? And I'm walking around looking at it. Smelled like urine in there though, man. I don't know. I don't
They
know that
didn't have a Spencer's. You could have gone and look at some of the posters.
oh, I wish they would have. And I don't know. It may have been because of the power outage for a few days, and there may have been some scents that came out of. But yeah, it was not a pleasant place in the Hot Topic. And I walked into a Foot Locker, right, which is interesting because I'm
You
walking
got the new
around.
shoes. Looks like you're about to throw your foot up there.
No, 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 no. I
Uh,
was just felt something on my leg down there. I was going to see if it was the cat. It was the cat or something. But I walk in there, and I guess I was dressed, I was dressed typical old white guy attire, wearing some Hoka's shoes, and I, walking around. And dude, I probably saw three or four different guys wearing the referee shirts, and one of them come up to me to ask if I want anything. I mean, not one looked at me and said, "Yeah, that guy's about to buy some Jordans," or he's about. I felt discriminated.
That's a money making deal right here, man. Nope.
I almost pulled a Julia Roberts and said, "I got money. I could spend. You guys work on commission, right? Mistake. Big mistake." Nah, wouldn't done it anyway.
Yeah.
But
Well,
and my wife, while I'm gone, she said there was an African gentleman in the store after I left, and she was actually glad I was not there because I have a tendency to inject myself into things that probably aren't my role. I want to say African because he identified himself as African. He was African. And he was yelling, apparently causing a scene with one of the employees saying, "You're discriminating against me because of my accent. You know, because I'm, and my wife, and when she was telling me this, I'm looking around the place and I said, did anybody tell the guy, dude, look around?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Like this, if in the old days of like a Benetton commercial, dude, there is you name it.
Yeah, you're in Houston.
And not only that, you're in Fort Bend County. Man, I am not kidding. Dude, this is no lie. It almost be like, just walk around, just, hey, I'm just curious. I'm just curious. Where are you from? Where are you from? What, like, I kid you not. The UN is not as diverse as the Apple store in the First Colony Mall in Sugar Land, Texas. I'm telling you this. And this dude was mad because he felt like he was being discriminated against because of because of his accent. You listen to me, bruh. If they're gonna discriminate, it's against the guy that sounds like
you should have said, "Hey, bro, I hear you. I'm with you right there, bro. Nobody talking to me either."
I was not there. I missed it. I was walking around a hot topic when all the fun was going down.
Well,
in the Apple store, but there you go. So,
well, changing gears and all of that. So I was at a friend of mine's mom passed last week, and so I went to the service. And, we've talked about this before. Services become now like some of the part where you sit down and say, all right, who's going to be there? That's how I decide if I'm going to go. Well, she's a good friend of mine. And so there wasn't that thought involved in it, but she's a few years younger than me. But her and I stay in touch over the years, and her brother is closer to my age, and he was in college at the same time as I was, and we were friends. Point being, it's been 20 something years since I've seen him. Okay. So when I walked into the church, I reintroduced myself to him, as I would often do with people I hadn't seen in forever, just to make sure he knew who I was. Yeah, I had hair the last time he saw me. But so at the very end of the service, yeah, they'd go to the graveyard and stuff, and so I'm walking out. I'm one of the last ones to walk out of the church, and this guy says, "Hey, Juan, how's it going?" And they're all right. And I'm looking at him and I'm thinking it's somebody. I said, "Is that this other dude who I'm not going to name?" But I said, "It's not somebody I see regularly, but I've seen him within the past year." It's like, God, that dude, he's changed a lot. If that's him, I don't think that's him. But he's talking to me like, we're best buds. Right. He says, how's the podcast going?
Uh-oh.
Man, I said, all right, man, do it. He says, still doing it every week? I said, yeah.
Well, the fact you don't know that is a little offensive.
Well, but then he starts saying, "Well, I knew you'd be here. You and her," and I'm not gonna say the girl's name, but you and her are still close. I'm not sure that's a public.
Standing there talking to a guy who looks vaguely familiar. You have no idea who he is, but he apparently knows a lot about you.
Right. And I said, "Oh, yeah." They says, "Well, her and I dated some like in '89."
Are the clues falling in now? Is it
no? When at the end of the service, when I went to tell my friend bye, I said, "Hey, is that guy so-and-so?" Who I was mistaking him for. And she said, "Oh, no, and she told me the guy's name. I swear to God, Dave, I hadn't seen that boy in 40-something years. And he's like 3 or 4 years older than me, so we never even went to high school together. And the sense that you just going to walk up to me and, I'm going to know who you are, I don't, Well, that was a stretch for me. And then when I leave, I stopped at the little dairy inn in Napoleonville because I always got to get me some chili dogs there because they're really good. There he was. Yeah.
Hey, bro, you like the chili dogs too?
But here's the deal, people. If you hadn't seen somebody in decades, tell them who you are.
Tell them who. Right. It's almost. Yeah. But I mean, I don't put myself in that many positions. I guess I don't put myself in that many situations now where I get a little bit of it. You travel and stuff, like working with folks, but that's different. I didn't grow up with anybody, and
right.
And that's pretty much it now. If I run into you and we may be Facebook friends, which I am, I think I'm pretty good where I'm at. I never ask anybody to be a Facebook friend, but I don't
Mm-mm.
typically turn anybody
Right. I
down.
don't turn them down unless I
I've
have
turned a
no
couple
idea who
people
you
down. I
are.
turned down. I
Yeah.
told you that the guy who was freaking bully was just like the worst human being to me. And then did I tell you the other day that this guy, I'm just gonna go out and say he was a coach
Mm-mm.
that just made my life miserable. Sent a friend request, and I'm like, man, I'm being petty by not saying yes, but God dang it, I'm petty.
That's okay. You can be petty sometimes,
You
man.
know, part of me was like, oh man, and then the other part of me is like, no, man, no. He's one of those guys that make you play shirts and skins when you were
You would have skinned if you were a big kid, though.
yeah, or me, I was so dang skinny, man. I mean,
Uh,
you didn't want to, have one of those unfortunate physiques. You're kind of skinny on top, but
a bird chest.
just a little around the waist. You know what I'm saying? That's just an unfortunate. If you're wearing a shirt, you can really hide that. But when you
Yeah,
take that shirt, and that's just genetics. It's just like,
yeah, yeah.
I mean, now obviously I'm ripped. You know what I mean? Like,
Exactly.
oh,
Yeah.
dude, yeah. I mean, I can grate cheese on
Like
my
you and Hulk Hogan.
oh, 100%. But back in those days, I can remember that. You eat and eat and eat and try to work out. Dude, we didn't have supplements enough, and I couldn't
Oh
put
no,
on
dude. When I was in high school, I was about an inch shorter than I am now in 8th grade,
okay.
and probably weighed 120.
Yeah, dude. I probably was 135 senior year of high school, 140.
Yeah, I
Man.
think I might have weighed 140.
Daydreamed of 150. Daydreamed of 150. Then now if I got 150, people are gonna ask me, how's the chemo going? I'd be like, that would not be the way to do it. I didn't talk about it all last time, but sort of a big story. So we did have a hurricane.
Your hurricane.
Yeah. Made it out all right. I think, and this is so when we're doing this, it's about 2 full weeks
2 weeks after, yeah.
from the time it rolled in. It was I'll say it again, y'all. Don't ever let the words "it's only a category 1" come out of your mouth, because when it's got the H in front of it, and when it's a hurricane. Now, granted, you don't want 3, 4s, and 5s because those are just, I mean,
Right.
but I show you what a 1 did in Sugarland and around Houston is unbelievable. And then the power company is just a total joke. They weren't another conspiracy, but
How long were y'all out of power?
no, we were out here at my house for about not quite 4 full days, but fortunate, and it went out right as power went out about 2 hours before it arrived here. I think it had just it had started coming on wherever it came on, and we lost power. The more unfortunate thing was about an hour later, we all lost cell service.
Mm.
So nothing. It was back to the Stone Age. My wife has since ordered, and we have an AM powered, a battery powered AM radio.
None.
Okay. So the only one I would have had if I'd gone out to a car. Well, I'm not going out to the car in a hurricane. So yeah, so that bad boy, a girl, it's Beryl, it's a male, female, I don't know, came on, and we got the eye. Like we ended up, there's about 45 minutes in the middle, man, calm. Went outside and had some branches down. Had a pretty big branch, missed our bedroom and bedroom window by about a foot. So, very fortunate. But and then I had my generator stuff ready to go, and
But do you have a smaller window unit or something to run?
I do. I
can
got
you
a couple
generate
little
it?
window
Okay.
units. But I just put a window unit. But you can't do that in the moment. You got to wait till the
Right.
work, right? But so I got a window unit in the living room and some fans, and highly recommend out there. I don't own stock in this. It's a Duramax, I think, is the generators, portable generators. I got mine at Home Depot. They all went up. But don't buy them yet because everything went up in price.
Yeah, no, I bought mine, several years ago, and I've never. No, I did use it for Hurricane Ida.
Okay.
But I started it yesterday. Every Saturday,
Got to do it. Now the one I bought is it's called a dual fuel, so you can run either gas or run it off a propane tank, just like your barbecue, a propane tank. And that's what I do because I don't like storing gas and messing with gas, and a tank's just a little cleaner. And
because then how often do you I don't have any gas powered lawn tools, so my little bit of gas I have for the generator will sit there forever.
And it'll probably run. Yeah, and you get people say, "Oh, gas goes bad and whatever." But so I did that, and I ran one freezer, two refrigerator and freezers, AC. You kind of playing around like, what can you run? I only probably tripped it twice. Realized, okay, it cannot run all three refrigerators and the freezer and the wind the unit at the same time. Okay, that
Well, and your cooling or heating devices are the things that draw the most power.
let me tell you what we figured out. Because I made some coffee. I made a Keurig brew. You hear a generator bind when that Keurig coffee maker kicks in?
I guess because it's getting so hot so fast.
That's what I was trying to explain to my wife, who doesn't believe most of the things I tell her. But I'm saying, honey, anything that heats with electricity
Yeah.
sucks some juice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And then you're heating, like I said, you're heating fast. So, it's got to hit the front end.
But hey, I was feeling like a little bit of a hero, like because the first full day, and then that night we were staying here, and I was keeping, trying to keep things from melting, rotating with the refrigerator and the freezer, and then had the window unit, little window unit downstairs. So my sons went to sleep upstairs. It was like 92, 94 upstairs. It's you got a 2-story house, man. You going up the stairs, however warm you think it is downstairs, you get about halfway to, hits you. But my younger son came down. He ended up sleeping on the sofa in the living room with a blanket on. Let me tell you, man, little window unit below with a fan that,
Oh yeah, right in there, all
because I'm a Cajun. I told my wife, I don't think they fully appreciated how many extension cords I have. Man, Juan, when I tell you I've got, oh man, I must have.
I have various lengths,
150 to 200 yards of extension cords, dude.
Oh yeah.
All the splitters.
Some I could put 10 together and make 100 yards.
Right.
Some I got that are 50 yards long.
Well, so we stayed that night, and then the next day, I kept thinking the power was going to come back on because we have never lost power for more than a day or so. But when it became obvious that this is a mess because CenterPoint is just totally screwing everything up, we were fortunate that my wife's mom has a house, but 25, 30 minutes from here, and they had power. They had a backup generator they didn't need because they had power. So we kind of went camp, gave us an opportunity to clear out the fridge and the freezer, decide what you're going to keep, what you're going to cook. But all good.
Good.
Let trees down everywhere, man.
Joey drove through Houston, but not probably where you were because they went to Austin last weekend. So I asked her if it looked bad when they passed, but she didn't.
Well, a lot of it, I guess, has been cleared, and it's a lot of the old neighborhoods. Like we got an old neighborhood.
She said she did see a lot of power trucks driving like through Lake Charles headed your way.
But this is typical, and again, if I'm wrong, I will come back at another time and say it. But stories we have gotten, there were. First of all, they didn't properly stage it. Usually, when there's a hurricane coming, they have pre-staged all over the place. They keep them out of the storm, and then once the storm goes through, okay. And the people that work these things, these linemen, typically they get the lay of the land. They show up, they just start repairing stuff, and they do tickets as they go. So that's why typically neighborhoods start coming on, sort of like contiguous because they move.
Right, they're in the area.
This time, apparently, they couldn't start fixing anything until they got a work ticket from CenterPoint. So somewhere there's a bottleneck, and these guys were saying sometimes they would usually work dozens, if not 100 different repairs in a day. Sometimes they were getting 3, 4. Yeah, unbelievable.
They probably had a lot of guys sitting around doing nothing.
Oh yeah, all the hotels around here. There were stories about just linemen just sitting around waiting to be given instructions to be able to go fix things. So it was as is always the case, y'all. Same thing with government. Same thing with big companies. You get either incompetence or just morons that get to run things. Everybody's covering each other's butts. I don't know, whether it's legal, what they tie into, but that's why now it's unfortunate, but there's apparently some incidents, people starting getting angry and getting loud, and I don't know if they got physical, but threatening some of the linemen, and which is the height of stupidity. That ain't the guy to threaten. If you want to, if you want to yell at somebody, show up at the next board meeting.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
like
Go ahead and piss off the guy who you counting on.
this guy came from out of state. You probably yelling at some dude that left his family in Arkansas somewhere to come get
Sleep
you.
on a cot somewhere
Right, right. So, but
or in
anyway,
his truck.
so that's but man, there'd be a lot of generator sales going on around here, and it just heads up to Louisiana. Now, you guys don't need it because you shouldn't need it. But here's what happens: as soon as a storm hits an area, everybody, it's fresh in your mind. Boy, you prep. You get your generator if you got one ready. You think about the food, right? You all mental. But man, if we go a year, 2 years, you don't get a storm, you're like, we not in the cycle no more. We good. We
Nah,
good.
like I said, that's why the last one that came here, man, my generator was, wasn't running. It hadn't run in a couple of years because it's like, oh, whatever.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you're like Ida taught everybody a lesson, but I got news for it. Like, look at Lake Charles. Lake Charles got slapped twice, back to back, and
They're
so
finally
anyway,
going to knock that big building down in Lake Charles.
are
The
they
one
going to take it down?
the green building with all the
It used to
glass
be. It
on
used
it.
to be Capital One. Used to be.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was Hibernia back in the day. Then it was a Capital One.
They're pulling. I saw they're pulling all the glass out and they're going to implode it.
That's sad. It kind of shows you that. Now, Lake Charles is not a bad pull. I mean, I've been.
I just think from what I heard, it sat so long that the whole thing got molded and just
Sure. Oh yeah, it's not worth. And who wants to? If you take 210 around Lake Charles has some nice stuff in it. It's the nice stuff in Lake Charles is not on I-10.
No.
So is what it is. But so yeah, so hopefully Louisiana, we took our hurricane this year, and hopefully we took one for y'all that y'all don't. I don't wish nothing bad on anybody, but
No.
be nice if they would start curving, right?
Yeah,
Shoot up the Atlantic coast and then go that way. Just
some of those people out there.
turn those things away. But there you go. Just another uneventful Sunday, Juan.
I know, man. I'm waiting for things to just get exciting.
As soon as we get off, something else is gonna happen. But this is the timestamp, y'all. So we just caught y'all up to what are we? July
21st.
There you go.
My wife's birthday, day after tomorrow.
There you go. Happy birthday, Joey.
Fortunately, she's already bought her gifts. So.
That's the way to do it. That's the way to do it. I know my wife's birthday's coming up in.
Both of y'all got birthdays back to back.
Back to back. So, but I'm that way. And we're both the same way. Like, I don't want nothing. Don't. And then she gets it's the guilt. No, I'm the advantage because I'm 5 days later. Okay. So I can kind of gauge on like.
Right. Exactly. You could play it off.
Did you take me up on the, hey, don't get me now? You know what I mean? I mean, I can get her something. No, wait, I said that just the opposite. I'm the one that's at the disadvantage, right? Hang on a second.
You're first?
No, she's first.
If she's first, then you're at the disadvantage.
Yeah, I gotta get. Yeah. All right, take two. I did that exactly wrong. I think I thought about something I'm gonna get her though.
I'm good.
There's a new car wash. There's a car wash right here, and you can get a like a membership, like unlimited.
Dude, I have a car wash membership, and let me tell you something. They got 4 or 5 of them in my driving radius. If I pass 2 back to back, I'm going through both of them.
Well,
I'll make my money off of that thing.
But here's the deal. I don't know. She's very picky, my wife, with her. There's the car wash she likes to go to is you get out the car and they do whatever. And
they do the detailing.
Yeah, because some of these car washes are they're violent, man. Like I go through with my I want to like call the owners or the company and say, you don't need the blowers to blow that hard. Like,
suck your windshield wipers off.
Oh, dude, it's when the hood of your car is like rattling. It's like
you should be because I drive a Jeep and the Jeep doesn't have a whole lot. It's got straps on the outside that hold it down and just one little hook. So yeah,
yeah. All right. So I don't know unless she hears this podcast before her birthday, then obviously I don't know. Because that's the kind of thing I have to see what's the cancellation on it. If I get it and she don't like it. All right.
Typically, at least the ones we have are a month. Yeah, all right. You just subscribe for a month, and
we'll
then
see. I'll try to get her an annual. We'll see how that works out. But and if you're watching this, honey, don't
Yes.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm not doing that. All right. All right, everybody. We're going to push the button, get on out of here. See if any of this stuff stuck to tape or was somehow able to miss CrowdStrike.
All right. Or, your cell phone failure.
Correct. If you want to reach us, not that hard to find. It's Dave and Juan at protonmail.com. And of course,
we're right here.
Everywhere else. You found us this time. You know where we are. We're going to be back. Hopefully, hopefully by next week, we won't have to be talking all about people getting shot at.
Next week, I'm going to talk about my pending Costa Rica vacation that I'm taking the week after next.
Stay tuned for Juan's upcoming. I'm going to New Mexico this week. I'm going to be
all right.
I'm flying to Albuquerque on Thursday. Back on
Is it hot?
Back on Saturday. I don't know. I don't intend to care. I get to the airport, fly, assuming again CrowdStrike doesn't strike again, and yeah, man, I'm an airport, Uber, hotel, do my bit, come back on a Saturday morning.
Hey, do it all over again.
Do it all over again. I like these kind of gigs. They already paid.
Oh, nice.
I know. I never do that, but it was short notice out of the blue. So, and like, I felt even guilty. I'm like, whatever. And like, boom. It's like, I don't know if that puts more pressure or less pressure not to suck.
Well,
we'll see.
Don't matter.
We'll see. But it'd be literally my first time in New Mexico. I've been in 40.
Wow, okay.
I've been in 46 states. It's going to be 47. You would think, and we're right here. It's next door.
Yeah.
But no. So anyway,
I've been to Albuquerque. It's cool.
Yep. Going to do that. But hey guys, every week we tell you it's not a hint, suggestion, subtle implication, dude. We ain't just winking and nodding. It's a freaking
mandate, man.
Mandate. Live your best life.
Like the directions they were given to Biden. It's a mandate, bro. You got to get out.
Mandate.
Live your best life.
Live your best life. Live your best life. Look at somebody like Kamala, man. She was sort of an afterthought. Nobody. No. She didn't get one vote. She might be president.
It could be. Yeah.
Could be.
Yeah, so her and I were tied.
That's right. We got the same 100%, but she's so good. This will be fun to watch. So she's having her best life right now. Having her best, and so is probably Jill and Hunter. They got their price. They're out of there. So you guys may not quite have that, but it might be close.
But,
right?
It's all about perspective, man.
Right. You fall down, get up. Fall down, get up. Go for it. Go for it. All right. Until then, you guys, again, have a fantastic week. We will try to do as well and get back with you about this time next week.
Same time. Same place. Same
time. All right, man. Love you, bro.
Back at you, dude. I was at so I told you I had a hernia, so I went to the doctor this week to figure out what to do. So I'm sitting in the waiting room for a while, and there's a girl on the side of me. She's I don't know, pleasingly plump. How about that? And she's got a tattoo on her arm, just text. And so I'm just sitting there, trying to read it. And I got to "you ate my," and I'm sitting there and saying, what could that next word be? And then, stupid me, I read sunshine, and I said, "You ate my sunshine? What the hell does that mean?" Then I said, "Oh, moron." Or my sunshine. All right. So
that used to be my dad's favorite. That used to be my dad's favorite song. My dad loved Jimmy Davis.
Dude, that's why the Sunshine Bridge is the Sunshine Bridge.
Dude, if my dad would have been sitting in that waiting room, he would have had a conversation.
Broke out the song, huh?
Ooh, he'd have told her. He'd have told her the whole story about Jimmy Davis and the time he met him and he came to Galliana Elementary. And, oh, babe, you are my sunshine. Or,
nice.
You ate my sunshine.
It's over. Go home.